So I might have discovered retail therapy.
Hi, I'm Cass, and I'm joking about the whole retail therapy thing, mostly. Now, the story to my downfall, the villain origin story, if I may, was when I bought these two bookcases, which are the Billy bookcases from IKEA, and I did not have enough books whatsoever to fill two of them, so I should have just filled one and been fine. But I didn't. So in today's video, I'll be sharing all of the books I bought in 2021, and they're all scattered around my feet right now, and it is a lot of books, and I really don't want to count them because I don't want to be depressed about how much money I've spent on these books, though to be fair, a lot of them I bought at half-price books, which is considerably cheaper than buying them at full price. And also I'm going to have two parts to this video. The first part will be all the books I bought and read, and then the second part will be all the books I bought and still have not read. Let's get into it because this is gonna take bloody forever. Starting with the From Blood and Ash series, I bought basically all the books published in that series. So I have From Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, A Crown of Gilded Bones, and then the prequel to this series, the Shadow in the Ember series, and this is A Shadow in the Ember, all by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I actually kind of enjoyed that series, I'm not gonna lie. It just took me a book and a half to get into it, and the only reason I continued reading it was because my friend was reading it at the same time and she convinced me to keep going, so I did, and it got better. I have two Mary Lou books. I read Rebel by Mary Lou. I had bought this because I found out about it and I was like, I loved the Legend series, and so I bought the fourth one. Didn't really do it for me, but the other Mary Lou book I bought was The Kingdom of Back, and it was really interesting to read, solid 4 stars. Since the Shadow and Bone Netflix series was coming out, I ended up buying the trilogy even though I had already read it. This is in the wrong order as well. This video is so structured, such a professional. So I have Shadow and Bone, and I actually have the original cover of Shadow and Bone. I was searching through like multiple bookstores for this. It's like hella beat up, but I really like the cover. I wish I could find the original covers because I like them so much more, and these new covers are disgusting. And so then I also have Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising that I had bought. And then on that same sort of Grishaverse theme, I got King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, which I don't think I didn't actually read King of Scars, like this book copy. I listened to it on audiobook. And then Rule of Wolves, I think I alternated between actually reading it and then listening to it on audio. I like these books. I love the Grishaverse. I cannot wait for the next season of Shadow and Bone on Netflix. Very excited. And I'm excited they're coming out with a graphic novel about the Darkling's backstory. So very excited for that. I have A Court of Silver Flames. I talked about this in my top 5 favorite books of the read. Books of the read? What? I talked about this book in my top 5 favorite books of the year. I hate the cover, so it sits on the bottom shelf where no one can see it because it is ugly, especially the spine. No one wants to stare at this, and it doesn't match anything because it's not even like shiny in the slightest. It's like a matte gray. I hate it so much. I also have Ranger's Apprentice, The Royal Ranger, Escape from Felice. Now, Ranger's Apprentice is my favorite book series in the world, so whenever a new book comes out, I of course pre-order it and usually read it like very close to the release date. I adore this book. 5 stars. Easy. Yeah, you should read Ranger's Apprentice because it is very good. The Prison Healer is one that I think I was gifted actually for my birthday. Actually, I don't think I was gifted. I did a book swap with someone, so I bought her a book and then she bought me a book. It seems very interesting, and it very much so was. I read this very recently. I think I read it in December, and apparently there's a sequel, and I will probably buy the sequel because I did enjoy it. It was like a 4-star read. It went in a direction I was not expecting, and the ending was a bombshell drop. I was like, whoa, we're doing that now. Okay, we're doing that now. So I'm excited to read the next one. I will probably buy that in my next like book haul or the next time I go book shopping, which is very soon, so keep a lookout. This one was also a gift. This was actually a birthday gift. I don't want to talk about it. I haven't actually finished reading it. Don't freaking read this book, for the love of God. It is terrible. It is literally dreadful. I don't know why I'm still reading it. Moving on to a much better book, I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I bought this at Target because I was spending the night with some friends and I was like, I need a book. I didn't bring a book. So I bought this one, and then I got sick at the friend's house, drove home, and then the next day I read this all in one sitting. Holy shit, this was really good. It was literally my top read of 2021, so yeah. Plus I love the cover design. I plan on buying the special edition very soon. I bought it for a friend, and I was like, I need my own copy of this. So this book was a mistake to buy. The Kissing Booth by Beth Reekles? I don't know what was going through my head. I kind of enjoyed the concept of the movie and I thought the book might execute it better. It did not. It was like much more cringy. But a romance I was not disappointed in was The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I bought this, I think I saw it on Instagram and I was like, oh, that seems like a cutesy little romance. I was on my little romance kick, but I was kind of getting sick of reading fantasy romances because it takes a lot of brain power to keep up with the world building. So I was like, I just want a cute, fun, easy read, and that is what I got. This book was adorable. The Betrothed by Kiera Cass. Now I love the Selection series by her. Like, I adore it. I think it's the cutest. My sister is reading it right now. I think I one-starred this. I don't think I've ever given a book 1 star, but I disliked this book that much. Next book I have is Sabaa Tahir's A Sky Beyond the Storm. I love these cover designs. I just want to mention that real quick. I think it was the perfect ending to the 4-book series, and I'm glad I picked it up. I loved her writing. It was gorgeous. I ended up buying the entire Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. Now, A Broken Throne is missing because I haven't actually read that one, so it's in my other pile. And I am currently making my way through Warstorm. I have, it looks like about 100 pages left of it. This first book I enjoyed a lot. I think I tried reading this series like 3 separate times, and this is 3rd time's the charm, apparently. Last Sword, though, the second book, holy crap, this book was so slow and boring that I almost gave up on reading the whole series. However, I bought the whole series, so I was like, well, I really should read them. Really enjoyed King's Cage. A little slow, but had me invested, and I'm really enjoying Warstorm. In fact, I've read a majority of it actually at work. So I'm excited to pick up Broken Throne. I'm pretty sure that's just like a collection of short stories. I'm excited to see how this story ends. Like I said, I have 100 pages left. I don't know where she's going with it. I'm really excited. And these covers also. Obsessed. I have gilded my Marissa Meyer, which was a really recent release. I'm pretty sure it released in December. I was putting off reading this. I like sat on my bedside table and then I never ended up picking it up. And then I only bought it because my sister had told me about it and she wanted to read it. And I was like, okay. And so then I bought it. She read it. She said it was really good. And I was like, well, now I have to see what her hype is about. I love the Lunar Chronicles like a lot. And so I bought the entire series, which I already owned the paperbacks of the original covers. So I really didn't need the paperbacks of the new covers. I bought, obviously, the entire series, and I read the entire series this year, reread the entire series this year, and then I also got the entire series minus Scarlet in hardcover as well, because when I see them at Half Price Books, I'm like, obviously I have to buy them. So now I have 3 copies of basically the entire series, which seems slightly excessive and slightly obsessive. I have Plan and Organize Your Life by Beatrice, and I cannot pronounce her last name, so I'm not gonna try. She runs the Bliss Bean YouTube channel, and I adore her videos, and I found her last year in quarantine, so very helpful. And I enjoyed this book. It kind of felt redundant if you already watched her YouTube videos like obsessively for over a year, but it was good advice. One I read kind of recently is The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It took me forever to pick up this book because I'm pretty sure it was popular like ages ago. And the 3rd book, might be the last book. I'm not sure if this is a trilogy or if it's gonna be longer. I feel like it's gonna just be a trilogy, I'm not gonna lie. But The cover, first of all, absolutely slaps. In fact, the other two covers as well. I'm going to purchase the second and the third book whenever the third book actually comes out, and I'll read it then. I enjoyed it, I'm invested, I want to know what happens to these characters, so of course I need to buy the next two. You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thau. I think that's how you pronounce it, I might be wrong. I'll admit this was like a cover buy, like I saw the cover in Target when I was shopping, and very rarely do I buy books in person if it's not at half price books, because I really don't like spending a lot of money, and so if I can get a book for cheaper, or half the price even, I'm gonna go with that. But this one, I was like, this cover is gorgeous, and then I read the inside cover about what the story's about, and I kind of got invested. It wasn't the best book, but it was very solid for a debuting author. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover is one that I bought recently. It's a December read because my friend at work had recommended it to me, and I was like, well, of course I gotta read it now. This book hurt. I didn't cry, I was just in pain almost throughout the entire second half of the book. And I'm going to definitely read more of Colleen Hoover's work because I want to be emotionally damaged, apparently. I bought Nerve because I adore the movie, and this is one of the first books I've ever read where the movie did it better. And that is it for all the books that I bought and read this year, and now we have to move on to the considerably larger pile of books I have not read. A lot of these I'm going to quickly kind of go through because I haven't read them, so I don't know if I enjoyed them or not because I haven't read them. So let's start with this hunka-chunka thick old boy, The Priory of the Orange Tree. I don't know when I'm gonna read it, but it would be cool to read it this year. In fact, it would be cool to read all of these books this year. We'll see if that happens. Moving on to the next book I bought, which is The Help, and I think it'd be a really cool read, very different than what I usually read. I just don't know when I'll read it. I have the Lockwood & Co. books, I have The Screaming Staircase and The Whispering Skull, which are the first two books in the series. I've read the very first one and I started the second one 2 years ago now. This is my best friend's favorite book series, so that's the only reason I bought them. I do plan on eventually reading the series because I did enjoy the first one. A Court of Wings and Ruin is one that I bought just to finish off my collection because I had the first, second, and fourth book, but not the third. Between Shades of Grey is another book that I want to pick up hopefully soon. I really like historical fictions. I just don't read that many for whatever reason. Probably because it's depressing to know that it's based off of real life events. Children of Blood and Bone. I've heard really good things about this. This is one of those books that I think got popular on TikTok. The Poppy War. I almost bought the entire series in one swoop, but refrained from doing so until I read the first book, which I haven't yet. Broken Throne, which I mentioned earlier, and it says a Red Queen collection, so it is a collection of stories. So now I'm really excited to pick it up. This is gonna be good. This is one I'll probably pick up right after I finish Warstorm, so this will definitely be one that I read in 2022. I should knock on wood for I don't jinx myself, right? I have Panic by Lauren Oliver. I'm pretty sure I bought this. Actually, I know I bought this at half price. I read Lauren Oliver's Before I Fall and I enjoyed it, and so I wanted to see what this one was all about. I don't even think I read the inside cover, but I bought it. I got Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess simply to finish off my collection because I've already read these and I borrowed them from the library originally and I could see myself rereading the series. I bought the entire Harry Potter series in hardback because the nostalgia mostly, first off the nostalgia, I gotta set these down. So first for the nostalgia of me loving the series and not the author, just the series, and the nostalgia of wanting hardbacks because this is like what I read growing up as a kid, like borrowing from the library. They were all hardbacks and like they were this texture. Like, I don't know, nostalgia is such a funny thing and it took my money. Nostalgia took my money. I felt very justified with that purchase simply because like this is the original copy I had of Harry Potter. Like the home version, not the ones I would borrow from my school library. I have reread the series many times to the point where the pages are literally like binder clipped together because the pages are disattached from the spine and the spine is taped together and it's almost unreadable. So I wanted a pretty version on my bookshelf. I have The Blind Side by Michael Lewis. I really love this movie. This is one of the movies my mom would always just stick on the TV, and I would end up watching like bits and pieces, and then eventually I watched the entire movie. The Young Elites by Mary Lou. Have yet to read this. I'm pretty sure it's a series. I don't know. It might be. I'll probably read it because it's Mary Lou. She's one of those authors that publishes a book and I buy it. The Lady Midnight series I bought. Now, I'll be honest, I already owned the first and the third book in paperback, but then I saw them in hardback at half price and I was like, they're so pretty. So I bought them. Which also explains why I bought the entire Mortal Instrument series when I already own it. Just this time in hardback. Again, this is playing on my nostalgia. These were the covers and these were the copies I read as a kid. I have Chain of Iron, which was gifted to me, also by Cassandra Clare. Well, not gifted to me by Cassandra Clare, though I have met her. But this was for my birthday. Someone gifted me this book because I told them to get it for me because they didn't know what to get for me. So I was like, get this book. Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I'm pretty sure I saw on Facebook, it was like some Facebook post promoting it, and I was like, hey, Victoria Aveyard, like I'm almost done with her Red Queen series. This was back in August, and I am just now getting closer to finishing her Red Queen series. So I haven't picked this one up. I do really like the map. I drew the map for my August cover page for my bullet journal actually, but have yet to actually crack open the book. The Last Magician series, I've read the first one because my sister owned it back in 2020. I loved that book a lot and I really wanted to pick up the next two. My sister, however, was like, don't do it. And I was like, why? She's like, it ends on the biggest cliffhanger and you don't want to subject yourself to that torture, so just wait. So I'm gonna wait till the fourth book comes out to read these. I'm excited. Plus these covers, isn't that gorgeous? I love them. They're so pretty and their spines are too. So big plus, but I'll crack those open when the fourth book comes out for I'm not tortured, I guess. According to my sister. I have the entire Lost Hero series in hardcover. I have the entire Percy Jackson series in paperback with the original covers. To be fair, these are kind of beaten up, but they were all bought used. I just really wanted the original covers for the nostalgia, which is something you'll find me saying a lot. I have the Selection series minus the fourth one because I already own the fourth one. I just didn't own any of the other ones. I love this series and I love the covers and wanted them all in hardcover. So I bought them. Ready Player 2 is one that I asked for my birthday and I got. A Curse of Dark and Lonely is another book I've heard like really mixed reviews on, to be fair. Like I heard a lot of hype about it, but then a lot of critique on it too. But I'm pretty sure it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, kind of similar to A Court with Thorns and Roses, which I enjoyed, so I might like it. Again, with my nostalgia, I really have to stop. I bought the Hunger Games, but I bought them in these like really shiny pretty covers because I found them at half price and they were really cheap, so I bought them. I have the first three books from the Shadow Children series. I have read and reread these books a lot. One, because they're so short. There's only 5 of them. I'm buying them all used. I really enjoyed this book series as a kid, and nostalgia is such a funny thing. I have The Zookeeper's Wife, simply because I think I watched the movie and enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure it's a historical fiction. I have Cherry, which I bought because of the cover. And then the book I was like, interesting. I have started the book. I'm like a 5th of the way in. Do I plan on finishing it? I don't know. That might be when I unhaul. And then I bought Sadie because I think I saw something about it being popular on TikTok or something, and I liked the cover and I saw it at half price, so I bought it because it was at half price. So that's a lot of my books. I see at half price, I'm like, I heard those might have been popular, and then I buy them. I have Ranger's Apprentice, Ruins of Gorlan, simply a different cover. I believe I have 7 copies. Most of them I bought this year. Some of them I gave away. I don't want to talk about it. Actually, I do want to talk about it. I love Ranger's Apprentice and you should really read it. And yeah, anytime I see a half price books, a Ranger's Apprentice book without a cover that I have, I buy it. And then I have book 4 of Brother Band, The Slaves of Sakuro, this time in hardcover, but I already own the paperback. because I need both versions of it. And on that same note, I also bought books 1 through 3 and 5 through 7 of Ranged Apprentice with the new covers, which are not as good as the old covers because I like those much more. But I already have those, as you can see behind me here. I just bought these for I have more copies. That is going to be it for all of the books I bought in 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this wasn't too long. I'm hoping I can trim it down where you're not bored out of your mind. But I'm very excited to buy new books this year and read new books this year and see how many books of these I can actually get through. That's gonna be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, and control your book buying addictions, ya heathens. I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!